Name some types of welding. Oxyacetylene gas shielded, bronzing, arc, plasma. What is an advantage of electric arc welding over gas welding? Less buckling and warping of the welded material. When gas welding, what should be turned off first? Acetylene, then the oxygen.
A comes before O.
What is bronzing? Bonding material has a lower melting point than metal being joined. Used for materials that are easily damaged by high heat. Silver soldering, copper bronzing, aluminum bronzing. What is the maximum safe pressure for acetylene gas when welding?
15 psi.
No greater than 15 psi. What is the function of flux when used in soldering? Removes oxides and prevents formation of new oxides, so the solder forms a strong bond. Flux erodes corrosion from the surface. Why must acid, core solder, never be used on electrical wire? Any acid flux that is left over will cause severe corrosion to the wire. Why is flux used on silver solder? It cleans the base metal of oxide to ensure a good bond. What type of weld joints must be used to weld magnesium? Only butt welds. Prevent trapping of contaminants. What is one method of controlling expansion when welding a joint? Tack welding. At intervals along the joint. When splicing tubing by the inner sleeve method, what method can be used to insert a tight-fitting inner sleeve into the replacement tube? Inner sleeve chilled and the outer sleeve heated to allow a tighter fit. How do you determine the correct size filler rod to be used in welding? By the thickness of the materials being joined. Too small, a burned weld. Too large, you won't get the proper penetration. How can dents at a steel tube cluster joint be repaired? Weld a steel patch over the dented area and surrounding tubes. What are the procedures for preparing a metal fuel tank for welding? Wash the interior of the tank with detergent. Then steam the interior for a minimum of 30 minutes. Fill the tank with CO2 gas. Seal the tank, except for a small vent hole. What is the purpose of using flux when welding aluminum? Flux removes oxides. By combining with them, flux dissolves below the surface of the puddle and floats the oxides to the surface where they can be removed. Why must all flux be removed from the metal after welding magnesium? Can result in severe corrosion. If any flux is left on the metal, What must be done to successfully weld titanium? Must be shielded with an inert gas, such as helium or argon. What is gas-shielded arc welding? Gas shields around the arc to prevent the atmosphere from contaminating the weld. What are the advantages of gas-shielded arc welding? Stronger, more ductile, more corrosion-resistant weld. What shielding gases are used for gas tungsten arc welding, TIG? Helium and argon. What fuel is used for gas welding aluminum? Oxygen and hydrogen. Why is it desirable to use a soft flame when welding aluminum? To avoid blowing holes in the metal. When the puddle is formed, what determines the amount of heat that will be applied to the work when welding by the oxyacetylene method? Torch tip diameter. What type of flame should be used when silver soldering? Neutral flame. What is meant by a soft flame? Flame makes no noise and doesn't push the weld. What will be the result of using a torch tip that is too large or small? Large, high heat, burning holes in metal. Small, low heat, poor penetration.